high guard.
It's Overwatch. I have high guard. What the fuck? This game was my childhood. Alright. Geoff Keighley sends his high guards. Oh my god. My favorite genre, Concord like. See what's going on here?
Guard is here, and high guard is forever.
Welcome to High Guard.
It is a game that will last forever, a game whose popularity will never fade. Unlike Concord, which shut down 2 weeks after it came out. This Concord, nah. This High Guard, they already have a year-long plan for this game, so it's gonna.
I don't even know what to say. How cheap can you get? Overwatch, high guard? That's just ridiculous. They got a 7-episode plan here. Each episode spanning around 2 months. They got high hopes for it.
Be out for at least a month before they take this down. Listen, the problem with Concord was that it was $40. Gamers don't want to pay $40 for a super generic multiplayer shooter these days, except for Arc Raiders, which sold 10 billion copies, and Battlefield 6 sold 6 trillion copies, and that was $60 actually. The problem with Concord was simple. It was too much like Marvel, and it was too much like Overwatch. But then a month later, the biggest game was Marvel Rivals, which was just Overwatch with Marvel characters.
No, it was the characters and the DEI bullshit. Uninspired game. And this is going to lead up to a bigger point later on that I want to make about culture victory. I don't know if people are familiar with the concept of culture victory. Maybe if you play the Civ games.
So the problem with Concord was nobody likes Concord. With High Guard, they're messing up again. Internet already figured this out. High Guard is just Overwatch. See what they did? Except this Overwatch has horses, like paladins. Remember that is a game? And Overwatch 2 is a game too. Remember that is a game? But Jeff said this was gonna be really good.
I've played it, and after you see this, it is insanely fun to see, fun to play, as you saw in that trailer.
Just another show.
Okay? And he doesn't just say that about every game that comes out. Well, actually, he does, though. He literally says that every game will be good.
What you're about to see is running completely in real time and Unreal. And I cannot wait to play it.
So let's play this High Court and see why this game is.
These guys say this every time, and they might spend 30 minutes, 40, maybe an hour. That's it. That's not enough to really criticize fairly, good or bad, for any video game. Again, these guys are shills. You can't believe them no more.
So highly regarded before they take it down tomorrow. Whoa! High Guard episode 1. Wait, this is just episode 1?
Welcome to High Guard.
Welcome to Headwall.
I thought this was High Guard. Did I get the wrong game again? Is this a Concord scenario? Oh, let's check out the water. Let's check out how AAA this is. Oh, So no interaction whatsoever with the water at all. I don't have it.
Brother, come on. That shit's like a basic test. It's a basic quality test. Oh my goodness. Just no interaction with the water at all. Probably not even puddle footsteps. I don't know.
Any kind of reflection in the water.
I'm not playing this game.
I don't know what that white orb is. I don't know what that is going off of.
I'm Trader Flynn. Just call me Flynn. First step's just ahead. See what you're made of.
All right, Flynn.
Whoa, back later.
Wait, what happened? What is this? Why did you... Wait, I want to shoot these birds. Can you shoot the birds? I don't know, man. I don't know about this High Guard, man. Could you shoot the birds in Concord? I could never install it, actually.
So once you're out there, you'll find good weapons.
That's such a good meme that people couldn't even install the game.
Oh, sure, it's a Fortnite situation.
Watch it, buddy. I don't appreciate that.
No?
Friendly fire.
It's high noon.
It's It's dangerous out there. Folks like us don't quite go away, now do we? Let's see what power you've really got. I'll meet you over there.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
That's the blue one.
Are you sure? That's the red one.
Heads up, Warden. Sorry about this.
I love this part.
Hey!
Sorry about that one, mate.
Well, I did shoot this guy like 80 times already, so I guess. Training complete. You have become one of the greatest high guard players and one of the best Concord players of all time. Your connection to high guard has been lost. Yes!
Welcome to High Guard.
Who am I? My name is Boss Binka. I was one of the best Concord players. Now, the entire Concord community is migrating to this game. Literally hundreds of players. Condor? That's like Concord, kinda. Maybe I should be Condor.
Getting on my mount. Riding out.
It's good that she told me that, cause I'm playing with a blindfold on.
Where's the cool quips? Where's the cool voice lines? It's just some generic bullshit on top of a generic ass game. See some more.
Check out how good I am at games. I'm gonna snipe this guy while on a horse.
Focus up.
Check this. Hold still. Hold still. I lost.
We've got baddies nearby.
Baddies, huh?
For overtime.
You haven't even seen bad yet. Check out how bad I am at this stupid game. I can't hit anything. Is that a turbo blast? Okay, I like that. A horse turbo blast. This is like a spinning brute that just spins in circles.
Eyes up.
I gotta kill Jeff was right. Jeff was right about Mind's Eye. I'm super good at this game, so that means the game is super good. Yeah, never mind. I'm going back to Concord. No, wait, I can't.
Bad news.
We deleted High Guard. Check this.
Bombs in. Here we go. Eyes up.
Oh!
Reloading. Picking up some baddies.
Oh no! Man, I'm so good at this. I love Jeff and High Guard and Discord. And I love Mind's Eye and Arc Raiders and Smeagol. Oh. Jeff, you just lost one of your biggest fans.
Are there Tugans? Is there a Tugans show?
There's Condor as a character.
All right. No,
My connection to High Guard has been
I
lost.
just got kicked out.
Yo, it looks like this game just keeps taking the connectivity issues for sure. The mark of a great game.
Well, no, I actually booted you guys out so I could play.
It can only have 3 players on it once.
Secure boot disabled. Please enable and restart game.
Uh-oh.
What the fuck does that mean?
You gotta go into your BIOS.
I have to go into my computer's BIOS?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta do something in the BIOS to start
You
secure
have to
boot.
put secure.
Yo, that makes me feel like I shouldn't have your game on my system at all. Like, why do I have to go into BIOS and mess with the BIOS at all? Yo, what kind of spyware are you installing on my shit, yo? And it's not even a good game.
Your boot
Jeez.
on your BIOS.
No, is this a troll? Is this a troll that's
No,
happening
it's
to me?
real. Yeah, you gotta enable the high
Oh
guard
my
setting.
God.
Just like look up how to enable secure boot and just follow the directions.
But it's different depending on what company makes your motherboard.
I don't know who makes my motherboard.
Might have been Jeff. Open your computer and there should be a chip on your motherboard. And
This is why whenever you have a PC, especially if you build your own, always keep the boxes, keep the manuals, just stuff it away in the corner of your closet. Never know when it'll come in handy.
it just says high guard
Yep.
mode and switch that to high.
I'm reading a fucking manual on how I do this first.
Oh, you get war chest. It's like Counter-Strike.
All right, I'm starting the training grounds.
The first one's on us. Welcome to high guard.
Welcome to High Guard.
All right, just do the training mode.
I already did. I already completed the training.
How'd you do that?
I'm already spending money.
You didn't even play a match yet.
I did. I played one match. Now I'm spending a ton of money. Beast Lord. Beast Lord. $1,800. Gotta go for it.
Mr. Beast?
Naked Beast Lord.
What is this, like a battle royale or?
It's like 3v3 Concord Strike.
No, don't get legendary skins. That sounds like a lot of money.
The horse bows, Flup. The horse bows. I gotta go for it. $100.
All right, wait a minute.
$100.
That's 100 well spent. Not gonna lie.
I just went through the annals of my fucking computer and I don't know what I did. I think I did something really bad. Welcome
Wait,
to
right?
Yeah, at that point, I wouldn't even. It's not even a good game, dude. Why are you messing with your computer, giving it permissions that and you don't really know what kind of pirate this game is. It's not even a good game.
Recommended? I'm gonna go against the grain
Generic.
and pick the King's Lair. That looks
That's
like
not recommended.
I don't care anymore.
Look, you stopped caring a long time ago. The bad guys are called baddies.
Okay, Betty's here. Betty's here.
There's a baddie. Baddie by the street.
One down.
Baddie
One
down,
down.
baddie down. I'm dead.
Oh my god, goody down.
Oh, baddie. That's a baddie. I'm moving in on this baddie. I'm out of the play area. I left the play area.
What the fuck did you do?
I think I'm turning from a goodie into a baddie. There's 3 different types of money. There's silver money, purple money, and then Keely coin. Keely coin gets you like the best stuff. Ooh.
Of course, you could see where their priorities are when they're building a game. It's not meant for you to have fun. It's just meant to extract as many coins from you as you can, they can possibly extract.
Just got a dwizzle kill, baby. Jeff just sent me 7 Keely coins in the mail. Oh, I shot him off the horse. I'm like a high guardian of the galaxy.
This is seeming like the game of the millennium.
It's like the best game that's coming out today. Oh, I just guarded something way up high on the map. Can I get...
You know, I'm curious if they're purposefully making these games bad to, they say no press is bad press, so even bad press could be good press. People are going to flock to it just to see how bad it is. And of course, you're always going to get some people spending money on these trash games just because they like having skins. And I don't know. Maybe.
Some coin, Jeff.
I have the shield breaker.
I got the Jeff Slayer. My horse is shot. Flop, help.
Grenade out.
Flop, save me.
I'm guarding. What the fuck am I doing?
Did you not attend Jeff's lecture about this, Fluffy?
Why am I waving?
Why is your horse sliding like that too?
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good feature that Jeff left it in there for us. Paladin. It's like Paladins. Vanguard. It's like Vanguard and High Guard and Con Guard.
Jason, I don't like this game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is the worst game I've ever played in my life.
Flop, it's still episode 1. Episode 2 is where Jeff unleashes the full power of the Keely coin. That's when the game starts getting good. Flop, you were right. Jeff sucks.
Jeff, I trusted you.
This is a 60-hour shootout. Hi. Jeff Keely is the Kojima of video games.
This is a piece of shit game. This is a piece of
No,
shit
wait.
game.
Wait. It's really
Shit
good. It's
game.
actually really good.
Shit. I just got kicked.
It's because you keep talking crap on this game, Flip. Except I got kicked too. Jeff Keely's a bitch.
This the best you got, Jeff Keely? Jeff, I will lay down my life for Jeff.
Wait, I'm unlocking the battle sister.
Don't buy the battle
You
sister.
can't stop me, Flip.
Don't get the battle sister.
I'm getting it,
Don't.
Flip.
Don't.
Too late. Battle sister unlocked, Flip. Thanks, Jeff.
Laughing like that.
Did he actually spend money, yo? What the hell?
Thanks, Jeff.
Stop taking my money and saying thanks, Jeff. What the fuck is wrong?
Jeff, thanks.
Taking my fucking money and saying thanks, Jeff. Wait, look at this.
Gear.
Till next
Turn
time.
around.
Best of luck.
We have a clan called Jeff Soldiers.
Jeff's army.
Keely's Angels.
I hate Senti Feds.
Oh my god, that should have been a kill. I should have been promoted to top Jeff. The game just said I'm a bad bitch. What does that mean? High guard, high guard, high guard, high guard, high guard, high guard, high guard. Killed him. High guard, high guard, high guard.
They hit us hard.
Killed him.
Good kill, good game. Check this out. Zipline gun. Wee I broke every bone in my body. I should have never tried to have fun in high guard.
This game is literally the worst piece of shit I've ever played in my life. Not gonna lie.
What would you give it out of 10?
9. 9.5.
Welcome.
It really makes me wonder if they're purposefully pumping these games out for the memes. Like they know they're bad and they're gonna get a lot of press, a lot of negative reviews, yet they still put them out. But then I think about some of the other games that have been coming out, and this is going to lead me to a bigger point here. A lot of Western games have taken a noticeable dip in quality, noticeable dip in creativity. There's just not a lot of great games that are coming out, and this seems to be a problem just in the last few years. game quality just overall is going down. And another country is starting to get a better and better reputation for their developers and their games. He mentioned it here. Donkey mentioned Marvel Rivals. That game was a kind of a phenomenon where it was technically like Overwatch, like one of these types of games, but it was fun. You know, it had cool characters and people wanted to play it. Uh there's a lot more things that are coming out and they're getting very good reviews from the Western audiences, and these games are built and made in China. Case in point, I'm playing Black Myth Wukong. You know, we're about to finish off chapter 4, and I've been having a great time. It's a good game. It's not the best, for sure, but it's different and it's good. And I think that video games is just one aspect of this whole thing. I think China and Chinese culture is starting to get the wind at his back, while the West, specifically United States, made in America, isn't really what it used to be. And made in China is starting to become good. There was, what was that game called? Uh, Something Wins. A lot of people were playing it, received a lot of great reviews. A lot of popular YouTubers were playing it, and it's not definitely not the best, but it's different. Where wins meet, and people loved it. Marvel Rivals, Black Myth Wukong, and here's another one. Black Myth Zhongqi. This trailer released a few months ago. So it looks like Black Myth will be a series of Chinese folklore and legends being put into action RPG Souls-like format. Pretty baller. Damn, that tiger looks more real than an actual tiger. My PC. No, not again. Not, like this. These are all positive. As soon as Black Myth Wukong came out, my first thought was, I hope Black Myth just becomes an IP and they just do more Chinese folklore and legends. And boy, I couldn't be more happy. In the past, for decades, as long as I've been alive, it's been pretty well recognized that American culture has penetrated worldwide. Our music, our way of dressing, our lingo, the American language, so many things have penetrated other cultures and other countries, and in a positive way. You know, I think it's a positive one. But as of late, I think we're on the downfall, where we're past the climax and we're definitely going downhill. Pretty soon we're gonna hit some sort of resolution and a new balance, new equilibrium. And I really think that Chinese culture is picking up wind and support even in the West. Let's watch this trailer. It's only 2 minutes and it's pretty hype. Not gonna lie. It looks like it's gonna be a repeat of Black Myth. Highly enjoyable. Game science. It's gonna be a good studio next decade, I bet.
Brother! Help me here!
You ain't even trying. It's all me. Look at that belly of yours. Where's the mountain? Hey, you're falling flat, losing again.
Drop that Codswallop. Master will take us back, as long as we keep that mountain in her heart. Hey.
No scolding, no flogging, life spared. Why risk going back? This place, we've got food on our table and...
Damn. Another black myth. And that's how you do teaser right. You don't show too much, you're just literally teasing, get the people hype. And we haven't seen any gameplay, that's just a cutscene. But with the history that this game studio's already done, with the brand recognition of Black Myth, I think a lot of us are pretty hyped. And this is gonna be, whenever it comes out, it's gonna be something on a lot of gamers' lists. Let's check out some of these comments. Zhang Kui, a Taoist deity in Chinese mythology traditionally regarded as a vanquisher of ghosts and evil beings. He is depicted as a large man with big black beard, bulging eyes, and a wrathful expression. Yeah. Anyone else blown away by animation of the tiger's muscles, the weight redistribution, how the steps cause droplets of water fall off? Everything about that animation is incredible. Yeah. So it looks like it's getting a pretty positive reception. Now I can't wait to see some more. Not sure how I'll play this game, but I definitely keep it on my watch list. And to further the point of China's rising cultural dominance, and honestly it's becoming a greater and greater potential threat to the US. And I'm just talking about video games. We could look at this from various different aspects. Financial is another big one. The economy is huge. I think a lot of these things are based off of the economy, and video games is just a very narrow portion of it. But it's important to look at different points, and you could kind of see a clear picture. So this is a pretty big video, 35 minutes. I do not want to watch the whole thing, but these are upcoming games from Asian studios. And let's take a look at these comments here. I'm gonna need to pick up 95% of these games. Where can I find that white ninja picture on your video cover? This guy thinks it's cool. Asia's cooking. All these games look fire. Am I mad in thinking that Anata is just Spider-Man with Persona 5 protagonist as the MC? Yeah, honestly, this is interesting because I know for a fact that R&D costs have been lowered a lot because of the way business has been for the last several decades. We willingly gave up a lot of production and a lot of our ideas to China so that they can produce all our stuff, basically. And video games are no different. So, just like they're just taking our concepts and making them better and making them appealing to actual gamers, and saying, you know, basically fuck you to all these DEI imposed. I don't even know how to say it, but there I'm definitely a little concerned. But, it's not really my problem. I think the American government or Western government should be more concerned. I'm sure it's on their visual horizon. I'm sure they're paying attention to some degree, but at this point, it might be too late. They have too much wind in their back. There's not enough time to play them all. Look at the clothes of the main character in Longevity, Yin and Yang. I think they're featuring Emperor's Guard, a super cool unit in China history. I will definitely be buying. Swords of Legend, common, legendary people, right? Come on, right? Awesome games. Better than Western woke shit. There you go. That's what I'm saying. And this is just getting started. Let's see how this continues in the next 10 years. A beast reincarnation meaning what? What do you mean by that? Another thing is, I think a lot of Western audiences will appreciate learning about mythology. China has a long history, and their mythology is very varied and deep. And so it's cool. It's cool to us to see something we haven't seen before, even if it's not as innovative as the video game industry used to be. They're improving on what's already good and making it appealing to actual gamers. So let's kind of skip through here and see just a little bit of a preview of what might be coming soon in 2026.
来了个不长眼的，想抢老子看上的宝贝！
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to do that shit? It makes you feel pretty cool if you're into these kind of games. That's pretty fucking cool. The rich culture, rich mythology makes it easy for them to incorporate it and make things look fresh.
可这世上，当真有神仙吗？
Oh shit, look at that. Check out this boss battle. Look at the water effects. Not like High Guard, damn.
请雷生发，风随雷奔，急急！
I mean, that looks fun. That looks fun. Skip ahead a little bit. Phantom Blade Zero. It's gonna be similarly like a fighting game. Devil inside. All right, this is completely different, but let's give it a chance. Let's see. It looks fun already. It looks cool. I've literally seen 2 frames. Okay, so new kind of adventure. There's some sort of fighting, combat, survival. Simpler graphics, but they look good. It looks like it's well optimized. I wonder, that's a cool contrast. Like you're out in adventure, you're out in the wilderness, surviving against the elements, and this guy's living a relatively boring, peaceful life. I wonder how it's gonna play into the game. Shit, you get to fight dragon. That looks really fun. Holy shit. Little devil inside. Project Tau, maybe a different kind of adventure game. Looks definitely a lot more detailed. Oh shit. Take some sort of RPG, turn-based. Damn, even see that's what I'm saying. Even turn-based games that don't particularly appeal to me, I'd be willing to try this. This looks cool, cool graphics, and looks like gonna be an interesting story. Plus, again, the Chinese culture and folklore is just bringing a whole different element to it that's new to gamers. It's very varied too. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Village of Calamity. The hell?
Agni, you need to know the moment you step out and set foot in that place, all the doors of the desk will be.
Horror?
Don't make a decision that will lead you astray. Lila needs me.
Get some sort of Silent Hill vibes. That's what the hell? Look at that. Yeah, it looks interesting for sure. Faith of Dance Chant. Okay.
I'm going to turn you into
There's another big thing that they don't have too big of a worry with this whole DEI obsession that a lot of Western studios have. And so it's to their benefit to ignore that. They make good looking characters that I think we want to see and we want to play as. So, you know, it's a big threat to our culture victory. Again, our culture is falling apart. Just looking at the U.S. and the state of the country in terms of politically polarized uh, actions that are happening, it's crazy. And we're just focusing in on the video game aspect, how we are losing great developers. Blizzard's done. I'm really hopeful for the next GTA. I think that's going to be a true test because Rockstar has been known for decades now as one of the top video game companies who produce gems. And if they manage to fuck it up, I think that's kind of the last front line. And so we're going to start being more excited for these Eastern games. Blood message. Already, damn, straight up a couple seconds, and I can tell that the story in this game, let alone the graphics, they look great. And the previous, 6 games that we've taken a look at briefly, they look solid. Different types of games. This one seems like it's gonna be very lore driven, story driven, and maybe pulls at your heartstrings. Definitely something I'd want to play. I really like story games.
如果神不肯拯救我们的部族，那就让我来。
Like, damn, who doesn't want to play at this as this kind of protagonist? You're really actually fighting for something and not some Overwatch high watch guard bullshit. Let's see the next one. Curse Sand. I could tell that's gonna be good. Let's skip to here. Another RPG. Okay, let's go to Ananta. Let's check that out briefly. Looks kind of like an open world type of game. We got a mini map and everything.
Stadium couldn't possibly handle the
Combat.
majesty of the boss's rock show.
Okay, then how about a beach concert?
Surround him! Don't just stand there! Gang up on him!
Here we go. And I guess a big advantage these Chinese developers have is they don't have to spend as much time with R&D for research and development and the coding. They kind of just steal code. But generally I'd say that's bad, but if they're going to be the ones that are going to be producing our best games for the next decade, then I think that's good. They're building on top of what's already been built. So I guess they're efficient. This looks fun. Skip forward a little bit. What the hell?
What about joining the NCCA?
Is the ACD shutting down? Big news?
Shutting down? I thought...
Again, cool characters. Stuff you want to play as. Like, I want to have that girl in my video game. Shit. Right? She looks pretty badass. A cat anime girl? Damn. A Swords of Legend? It's just cool game after cool game after cool game.
莫言也会叫蛮力，这地府里的法器，你倒是用上啊！
Another Souls type game. Looks good already. Skip forward a bit. Beast of Reincarnation. Game Freak. Oh shit. I guess they're expanding. I used to only see them behind my Pokemon games. That's fucking cool. Monster Hunter type vibes. Yep. So win after win after win after win after win. What's next? Crimson Desert. This is the most replayed part, so let's skip over here.
This is your
Remember who you are, and let it guide your...
Look at these fucking graphics, yo.
For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.
March? 2 hearts. Okay, more military combat, war, a more realistic game. Dude, they're doing everything. They're doing RPGs, they're doing roguelike, they're doing Monster Hunter vibes, they're doing GTA with anime. It's just fire, no matter what they're doing. Neo 3, well, we already seen the other Neos.
Here's my answer.
That one's for sure gonna have good reception. Animusha? Animusha.
And after everything you and your awful kind put him through, too. Were you feeling left out? Here, let me show you something to cheer you up.
New ways controlling this lightning.
I'm getting Bloodborne vibes from this one. Blackwood. Okay. Looks like a little bit more based in reality. Let's see the last portion of it. Alpha footage.
Let's get you fixed.
Lines one into the gap in left center. That's rolling all the way to the wall. He's around first, digging for second. Here's the throw. Save!
That's cool. That's a cool animation. Summer 26.
You have the power to change all of this.
Old Vein.
If time were a weapon to wield.
So I'm saying, like, even these, I don't know, man, all these characters look cool. Code Vein 2? I haven't seen the first one. Tides of Annihilation. that's enough. I think we made the point. Let's check out on these comments again. Everyone looks like they're really enjoying and looking forward to this. Is Little Devil Inside really being released? I hope so. The ones that got me very excited for that. Looks like a really cool game. Western game companies suck ass. That's what I'm talking about. And it's not just about video games, right? Yeah, this is in the financial sector, is in construction. There's the whole economy is switching, and I think this is why a lot of this political turmoil that's going on in the U.S. is building up. I won't go too deep into the theory, but if you can destabilize and disrupt social cohesion within a within the country, you're seeing the results of it. And Chinese people, and really a lot of Eastern nations, they don't have that problem. I could think of China and Japan specifically, that they view society and treat each other very differently. So, I think that we're losing the culture war, and China's gaining the upper hand. And we're seeing it across multiple fields. But, as a gamer, I'm excited to see what they got. Made in China quality's gonna mean something completely different, in 10, 20 years. And same thing for made in America. Gonna mean something completely different. It already does. I thought this was interesting. On a parallel topic here, this guy, or these guys here, they'll bring up some interesting theories, and you're not supposed to believe everything, but it's kind of just meant to get you to think about things that you might have not thought of before. Maybe you learn something.
Today marks 1 month since the Justice.
Yo, thanks so much for the support, Arya. I really appreciate it. You could catch me on here. Check in, tune in once in a while. You'll be pleasantly surprised. And, after we do these reacts, we're going to continue our Wukong Chapter 4 finale. We're literally at the final boss of the chapter. And I'm excited to go into Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. But, one thing at a time. Really appreciate your support.
Department was required by law to release all of the Epstein files. Bill,
Jesus, this is hard. It starts off pretty hard, but let's watch it. Let's watch it.
Bill and Hillary have publicly stated that they are going to defy the subpoena and skip their depositions.
ChatGPT. Dude, there's so much shit to say, yo. I hate to keep pausing it, but that's it. Like the elites, they're exposing themselves to such a way that it lets us know that this isn't an equal society, and it really never was. It was just better hidden before. And I won't go into the Epstein shit again. It's crazy, but let's see some more of this.
Grok and all the major AI models are bribed by Israel.
What did Netanyahu tell Bill Clinton?
I'm so curious.
Is there another foreign embassy that this could be?
Elon Musk's free speech platform X has been censoring anti-Israel voices.
Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
A lot of
us are going to die in August. August 12th, 2026, the world will lose gravity for 7 seconds.
Who said that?
NASA, they're preparing and they won't tell us why. Leaked online, the project's budget is $89 billion.
Shoot.
And its goal is to survive a 7-second gravitational anomaly expected August 12th, 2026, and expected casualties will be 40 to 60 million people.
What?
They go on 1 to 2 seconds. Everything not secured will rise. People, vehicles, animals. 3 to 4 seconds in. Objects will continue to rise to 15 to 20 meters up. 5 to 6 seconds in, panic and chaos will ensue. People hit ceiling. 7 seconds, gravity returns, and everything falls from the sky, and 40 to 60 million people are dead.
Entertainment purposes only, you know. It's fun. It's fun. I don't necessarily believe all this stuff, but you know, I think there's a deeper message behind it. Just keep watching.
Imagine you're pooping and then it goes back up. Dude, what a cleanup.
Leave it up, mate.
It's gonna happen, right?
Guys, this has to be the most ridiculous fucking conspiracy I've ever heard in my life. Apparently on August 12th of this year, the world will lose gravity for 7 seconds. NASA knows why, they're preparing but won't tell us why. Holy fuck. There are a number of pages claiming this that have a shit ton of views because misinformation goes viral while education goes out the door.
You know, here's another point. This just kind of proves that the American people don't have significant trust in the people that govern us, in our politicians and our police enforcement and, you know, ICE and all this other stuff. And that's why this stuff goes wild. Jeez, dude. You know, there's a deeper message behind it all. Let's watch a bit more.
Put simply, Earth and all objects' gravity come from their mass. Newton knew this, Einstein knew this, and everything we do on this planet depends on that. Therefore, the only way for this to be possible is if the Earth lost a fuckload of mass. Which, how in the hell would that happen, and how would NASA do it? These NPCs go on to say that apparently NASA has a secret project called Project Anchor, where we will lose gravity for 7 seconds. If it was leaked, then why can't I find it? The only thing they have that's remotely close to that name is the Lunar Martian Anchor Emplacement System. This is just a design to have a literal anchor on the moon or Mars to rescue stuck vehicles. Furthermore, the troll who invented this bullshit specifically picked August 12th because that's when the total solar eclipse is going to happen, and that helps add to the sensationalism. So thank you to this person for bringing this to my attention, but just to reiterate, there is no issue whatsoever. We are not going to be losing gravity on August 12th. That's just not even physically fucking possible.
All right. It is, but I highly doubt it. I think the mechanics behind it all is too difficult and very unlikely, and also God wouldn't allow this shit to happen. Okay, but again, this points to a distrust. This just really points to a distrust of our agencies, of NASA. You know, NASA used to be very highly regarded. And well, you know, the last 5 to 10 years, it's lost. It's gained a lot of distrust among people. You know, yeah. The social fabric within the U.S. is weakening to a critical point, and China's not having this sort of issue at all.
See? It's bloody nonsense.
We're still gonna be ready, right?
As far as putting words in order is concerned, AI already thinks better than many of us. Therefore, anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books.
All right, here's a big one. I've spent some time within the educational system, within my community and a few other ones, and you know, the children are not okay. They can barely read, and what they read they don't understand, and that was a problem when I was younger. But it's gotten to a critical point now where it's kind of ridiculous. They have trouble understanding the most basic of basic children books, you know. And AI is going to have a big effect on society. It already has. Uh, it's just going to continue. It's like a snowball. It's rolling, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion.
No. True, but no. First off, we were concerned with AI and artificial, intelligence. What is intelligence and what deems something to be intelligent? Cool. Now, today, literally, the question is not that anymore. We know that these systems, they're intelligent. We know they're as intelligent as the most intelligent people we have, or more. Definitely more intelligent than the average person. Now we're concerned about consciousness. That's what they're talking about. Sure, I'm prone to believe that AI, in a sense, is already conscious. But this is why finding your rock is going to be even more important. And this is going to create bigger ripples in society from believers and non believers. AI will only serve to corrupt religion. It's not going to help you understand it. And I think that's the line where it cannot be crossed because AI cannot gain spirituality. AI may gain intelligence, it may gain consciousness, but for it to gain spirituality, that's something it'll never have. So if you are able to find that, I think you're going to be better off, especially thinking about times ahead and navigating through these confusing times and really unprecedented, confusing world.
This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books, but AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI?
Sure, but it doesn't. It will not be able to understand the spiritual side of it. It's gonna spit out facts, cold hard facts about what was said and what wasn't, what was, clearly put apart, and put apart these different messages, these stories, and try to weave a greater narrative out of it. I think AI is gonna confuse itself at some point because it doesn't have spirituality. That's something it'll always lack. Let's keep watching.
They'll just buy the AI, right? Yeah, it's already happening.
There we go.
ChatGPT, Grok, and all the major AI models are bribed by Israel. The company Clock Tower X, which was owned by a former Trump campaign manager, signed a $6 million contract with Havas Media. And Havas Media was contracted by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs to promote a pro-Israel narrative. I guess that's what you have to do while you're conducting a amongst many other schemes. You have to bribe Google search results, bribe the mainstream media, bribe politicians, because if the news, the search results, and the opinions wouldn't be bought and paid for, then the whole world would see how troubling the truth really is, and the power structure would flip on its head. So what's the solution? It would be easy to say, let's boycott ChatGPT, but I don't think it's realistic at this point. What we need to do is correct AI whenever we see biased results. We retrain the model by replying to the result with independent articles, facts, figures, pictures, and research papers. Because if we don't put the truth in these AI models, then not only we will be brainwashed by their lies, but the education system will indoctrinate our children with this garbage.
It's already too late. Also, no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna make a big difference. Finding your own rock, finding the cornerstone, and increasing your faith and finding spirituality, and committing to being a truth seeker, that's that's the only way to really navigate through this.
We're fucked, right?
We've had a few comments saying that we're anti-Semitic because of the content that we feature. I want to be 100% clear. We have no problem with people, the people of Israel, the people of anywhere. We have problems with governments, our government, the US government, and especially the Israeli government.
Israel has bought Google and YouTube algorithms. And if you watch anything political or religious, you are being targeted through a contract with the government. These two companies have signed a deal with the Israeli government, which alters search results on those who look up religious or political answers. And all of these are in favor of Israel. And on YouTube, they're actually removing posts that criticize Israel. Over 700 videos so far. And this deal revolves around religious questions related to Christianity and Judaism, to which Israel has bought ads on Google that will suggest answers that is pro-Israel, and as well as the contract with YouTube that will again change search results from what you put in. Let's say you ask a question about Gaza. You're going to be promoted videos that the Israeli government wants you to see through their $1 million advertisement deal that will see pro-Israeli videos replace those of what you've been watching. Disguised, as I said, like an ad campaign, it's simply going to be replacing the videos that you've been searching for. The worst part is we don't know how long this contract is or when it goes into effect.
This is fucking ridiculous.
They're controlling everything, right?
Elon Musk's free speech platform X has been censoring anti-Israel voices. Stu Peters discovered that you could actually find out whether or not your account is being limited, censored, shadow banned, and it actually tells you even why. And the results of this are shocking. The people who are being limited and censored are anybody who's anti-Israel. They're being labeled as hate and harassment, and people who are pro-Israel, even if they're actually quite vile and they've actually been in support of genocide, their profiles are listed as neutral and they instead get boosted. Now, some people are saying this is not real. They're like, oh, this isn't real. Grok is just guessing. Even if Grok is guessing, Grok is probably guessing somewhat accurately. We ran, my profile, and my profile is limited. This is my account when I ran it for me. It says repeated framing of Israel as controlling global power, promotion of conspiracies linking Jewish Zionist donors and influence to regime change and media control, content alleging Zionist influence in U.S. politics, and it says hidden reputation score. They've given me a -65 to -78. But it's not just me, plenty of other people. Here's somebody that I actually was able to look up several other accounts. This is Johnny Graz. You'll be shocked to find out that not one pro-Israel account is treated in this manner, no matter how outrageous their posts are. Let's check out a few. And he checked out this long list of pro-Israel accounts. All of them are getting plus 90 to 95% boost, plus 88 to 94%, plus 90%. So the free speech platform of X, you're not allowed to have free speech. This is outrageous. The free speech platform is absolutely not free speech at all, it turns out. But are we surprised?
They're really making it difficult to tell the truth.
Yeah, bro. And I was right about TikTok.
It's official. TikTok is in the hands of Israel as of 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. The sale between China and the United States has been finalized as of 1 hour ago.
All right. So, China again. I'm not going to bring up all the facts and shit. Maybe another time. But I think China's been setting the seeds for this to happen for years. And at this point, the snowball's grown so big, now everybody's realizing it. But at this point, how are we going to stop this? I don't personally, I'm not going to try and stop it. I'm not going to be the one. But I will say, I've found my rock. I've found my cornerstone. I think I'll be able to navigate just fine, even with all this misinformation stuff. I think one of my biggest responsibilities is to help guide those that are around me, family and friends, and those who are willing to listen and have ears. My hope is to be able to guide them and help them find their cornerstone.
selling the platform to Larry Ellison, who is the single biggest donor to the Israeli military. And the community guidelines will now be monitored by a former IDF soldier. And all of our information here will be fed to Larry Ellison's parent company, Oracle. And he will be handing over this data to the US government to look for potential criminals. This is him literally announcing that. And he'll be partnering with the Israeli intelligence company Palantir. The same Palantir that struck an $800 million deal with the Israeli government to hand over information to the Israelis. And now, after putting everything perfectly in place, they now have the app that everyone has downloaded to take our information. Starting today, TikTok content in the United States is going to be different than around the world. Only the American TikTok will have the Israeli soldier monitoring the guidelines, and also this guy handling all of our information.
They're removing anything about Epstein, bro.
For fuck's sake. At this point, our government, the US government, and half of Europe are puppets of Israel.
This is absolutely unbelievable. Since Donald Trump's allies took over TikTok, you still have access to the direct messages on the platform, as you can see here. But when you go to type in a message that mentions Jeffrey Epstein, this is what happens. They give you a warning saying this message may be a violation of our community guidelines and has not been sent to protect our community. So now TikTok's covering for Jeffrey Epstein.
This is the biggest cover-up in history. It's happening right in front of us. This ain't left or right. It's us versus them.
They've only released 1% of the files, bro.
So, I'm home from New York, and you might have seen me online this week making this face before I lost it on Scott Jennings for minimizing the horrendous and sickening crimes in the Epstein files. But I wanted to show you the moment that came right before, the moment that got my face like this.
Right, today marks 1 month since the Justice Department was required by law to release all of the Epstein files. So far, it's released less than 1%. The law, Scott says, that the Justice Department shall release all the Epstein files, not can if it wants to or gets around to it.
Yeah, what's the punishment if they don't?
That's a great point. I mean, that's a problem.
There is none.
Did you hear it? Did you see? The administration is breaking the law, hiding the evidence of probably the most far-reaching child trafficking operation in history. And the MAGA position, which is what Scott represents, is so what? What are you going to do if we break the law and run cover for and murderers? Nothing. Play it again.
Yeah, what's the punishment if they don't?
That's a great point. I mean, that's a problem.
There is none.
Did you see the smirk? These people think they're going to get away with it, and they think it's funny. And that's what made my face do this.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our knickers in a twist here. There's no
let's
punishment.
not get our knickers in a twist over child. Why are you talking like that? It's insane.
And let's be clear. 2 days after this heated exchange went viral, the Republicans in the Oversight Committee voted no on a motion to hold Pam Bondi and the DOJ in contempt of Congress for violating the Epstein Files Transparency Act, for not releasing what they are responsible to release, for not telling us why they redacted what they redacted. The Republicans voted to not hold the people responsible for breaking the law responsible. So to Scott's point, what are we going to do about it?
What's the punishment if they don't?
That's a great point. I mean, that's a problem.
There is none.
Well, fuck that.
And fuck whoever they're protecting.
As long as Israel are in the White House, that list ain't coming out, bro.
Bill and Hillary Clinton are refusing to comply with the Epstein probe, and both Bill and Hillary have publicly stated that they are going to defy the subpoena and skip their depositions in the alleged investigation into Epstein. Bill and Hillary Clinton are dirty. We know this from all the different stories that have emerged about them over the years. And before we get into this, let me remind you that Bill Clinton has been accused of many women over the years. So it's not like this guy being a predator is out of question. However, Bill and Hillary released this joint statement yesterday after they defied a subpoena and Hillary failed to appear on Wednesday morning for her scheduled deposition statements. Now, in this letter, Bill and Hillary Clinton state that they are not going to comply with the Epstein investigation because they essentially feel like this is a witch hunt. You can pause this and read the text of this letter for yourself. It's a pretty long, lengthy letter, but as you can see here, it was signed at the end by Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. Now, it's known that Epstein visited the Clinton White House at least 17 times. These are just the times that we actually know about that were recorded. And we know that Epstein and Ghislaine and Clinton, they were all extremely good friends. They frequently traveled together. There are photographs of Bill Clinton with alleged Epstein victims. There are allegations, obviously, made by Epstein victims against Clinton. So he is clearly not innocent in this story. And obviously, Hillary would have known all about this. She would have known his travel plans. She would have traveled with him at times. She would have known anything and everything about Epstein. She was, after all, the first lady at the time that Epstein was visiting the White House. And it's a commonly held belief that the Epstein intelligence gathering operation was specifically created to target Bill Clinton while he was in the White House. And then it just blossomed into this extremely evil, ugly beast. They do make some good points in this letter, though. They state the facts speak for themselves. You subpoenaed 8 people in addition to us. You dismissed 7 of those 8 without any of them saying a single word to you. You made no attempt to force them to appear. In fact, since you started your investigation last year, you have interviewed a total of 2 people. 2. And it is true, even though I believe that Bill and Hillary are...
It's just a formality at this point. You know, it's just a formality that nothing's gonna come out of it. You know, the whole subpoena stuff, the whole investigation, it's not for real. Like, clearly, it's just for them to say that they did it. But, you know, they're investigating themselves, and they're gonna find what they want to find, which is nothing.
are completely complicit in the Epstein thing. The focus is being placed on them so that the focus isn't placed on other individuals.
Have we got to the point where people can just say, nah, fuck that, I'm not getting involved in your investigation?
Shit, I want to say that. I want to say that shit. Come on.
Bro, Netanyahu's in charge. He's the one who sent in Monica Lewinsky.
So in a scandal that has been largely lost to contemporary memory, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was alleged to have blackmailed then-President Bill Clinton by revealing to him that Israel had collected tapes of phone calls between the 42nd president and White House intern Monica Lewinsky. The story is worth revisiting amid allegations that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in a long-running Israeli blackmail operation of his own. So Clinton met with Netanyahu in the Oval Office in February 1997. Subsequently, according to testimony Lewinsky gave to the special counsel's office, Clinton's secretary Betty Curry reached out to Lewinsky to invite her to an Oval Office meeting, telling her Clinton, quote, had something important to tell her, unquote. It would turn out to be their final sexual encounter, but Clinton also used the opportunity to tell her that a, quote, foreign embassy had tapped his phone and recorded their conversation, Lewinsky said. Clinton did not specify which embassy, though the meeting with Lewinsky came the month after his meeting with Netanyahu. The special prosecutor's report was far more concerned with Lewinsky's claim of the sexual encounter that day, because it contradicted Clinton's claim that they had had only one encounter that year, than they were with the fact that a foreign government was spying on the president and letting him know about it. The prosecutor was also interested in Clinton's response, namely that he proposed cover stories. These are cover stories that the two could employ if they were confronted with the tapes. Clinton suggested the pair say they knew they were under surveillance and the phone was a, quote, put on for whoever was listening. That's an awfully flimsy idea, but look, he was guilty. The man did not have much to work with. Now in April, Netanyahu and Clinton met again for a, quote, private visit. On a Saturday then in May 1997, Clinton again had Curry invite Lewinsky to the White House. During that visit, he broke up with her, Lewinsky testified. The next fall, so this is fall of 1998, Clinton hosted Netanyahu and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat for a summit at Wye River, Maryland. Toward the end of the summit, at 7 a.m., after a long night of final negotiations and handshakes, Netanyahu approached Clinton privately to demand the release of convicted Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard, long a cause célèbre of the Israeli far right. That's according to reporting at the time from the New York Times. Now, Netanyahu brought up the tapes in the context of the Pollard demand, according to subsequent reporting by Washington Examiner editor Daniel Harper in his book, Clinton, Inc., The Audacious Rebuilding of a Political Machine. He writes, quote, not wanting to directly threaten the powerful American president, a crucial Israeli ally, Clinton was told that the Israeli government had thrown the tapes away, but the very mention of them was enough to constitute a form of blackmail. The talks almost broke down as CIA Chief George Tenet told Clinton he would resign on the spot if Clinton agreed to the terms. So instead, Clinton agreed to, quote, review Pollard's case. He did not release him. Pollard was eventually freed in 2015 under the Obama administration. Now, on the last day of his first term, Trump pardoned Pollard's handler. I don't know, Emily, what do you think? What did Netanyahu tell Bill Clinton?
I'm so curious.
Is there another foreign embassy that this could be?
Told you, bro.
He's been controlling the UK and the US for decades.
We've been talking about this.
At this point, we only know about it because they want us to know about it. And in some sense, it's a big fuck you to all of us, you know, to all the people, to all the ones that they're supposed to be helping, representing, and protecting. It's a big fuck you to us because now we're allowed to know that we're just not on the same level. You know, there's different laws and rules that they abide by, and laws and rules that we abide by. I just wonder what the next step is, right? We've gotten this far.
For I don't know how many years now. And Trump was a big part of that. And the Republican Party was a big part of that. Well, now we got the presidency, we got the House, and we got the Senate, and we still have 0 Epstein files. I sat right across from the current director of the FBI and listened to him spew lie after lie, not even realizing he was going to get director of the FBI. But he did get it, and he told us all what he was going to do if he did get it.
Why did Joe Biden not demand the release of the Epstein files if it was such a big deal to Democrats? The same reason that Joe Biden didn't demand that they drop the prosecution of May, because he didn't involve himself with the Department of Justice. Now we're here after we have an FBI director and the president himself, and they haven't released it. And then we have reports that 100 FBI agents that spent thousands and thousands of hours of scrubbing his name from the files.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And who loses? Kids, hundreds of them.
If they're not going to release the files, people need to follow the money.
They already have, right?
Treasury's Epstein file details, Mr. President, 4,725 wire transfers. Let me repeat that. 4,725 wire transfers, adding up to nearly $1.1 billion flowing in and out of just one of Mr. Epstein's bank accounts. If you ask me, that is more than 4,000 potential lines of investigation right there. Hundreds of millions more flowed through other accounts. That's even a lot more to investigate. The file shows that Mr. Epstein used multiple Russian banks, which are now under sanctions, to process payments related to trafficking. A lot of the women and girls he targeted came from Russia, Belarus, Turkey, and elsewhere.
That's a shitload of money. At some point, someone involved in this cover-up has to grow a conscience.
Nah, bro. They're a bunch of spineless bastards.
Was a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person. There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has.
I like this. Clearly, money talks, and clearly the situation's changed. And this guy, which is now our vice president, has done a full 180. Let's hear him talk.
It's racist and racism or xenophobia. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump because I think that he's projecting very complex problems onto simple villains. And at the end of the day, do you believe Donald Trump, who always tells the truth? Just kidding. Or you believe that woman on that tape?
There is no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
What do you think a Trump government would look like, Senator?
It would be chaos. If he builds the wall the way he built Trump Towers, we'll be using illegal immigrant labor to do it.
I mean, we're liable to wake up one morning and Donald, if he were president, would have nuked Denmark. That's not the temperament of a leader to keep this country safe. And the American people are not interested in this circus sideshow of insults.
So he's not my candidate. But people came to this country for religious freedom. So
I believe his statement was un-American, and I don't agree with it. I think everybody knows that I don't support him in this primary election. Everybody in this country is very frustrated. This president and this administration have shown us how not to run a country and have put place a lot of burden on individuals, and people are struggling.
Some of you are going to say those clips or voices are AI, but they're not. You can look them up. All politicians are puppets.
They can't say this is AI, bro.
You talk about meeting some world leaders, and one specific one. Quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all.
Here we see this woman who's been in the news a lot recently show how much of a scumbag she is. She does not speak with truth at her back. She speaks with an agenda at her back. Now, these people are puppets, all of them, and they only say what they're paid to say, and they hide and withhold information that they're paid to hide and withhold. So you can't trust anything they say. We unfortunately just live in this sort of world today, and maybe for a long time, it's just people are now being allowed to know about it. And again, what's the next step? Like, if we've come this far, if things are so out there for people to just look up, then what's the next step?
Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage, and I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days, and that those edits will be in place, and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un? That's what you're saying?
No, I've met with many, many world leaders. Many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that.
But she will until she's caught out. These fucks will lie to your face all day long.
They lied about what happened in Minnesota, bro.
Let's not get into that. But I will remind you of this Orwell quote from 1984. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command.
PayPal Mafia is attempting to buy Greenland, and I'm going to prove it. But here first, we got to talk about Honduras in 2011. Then,
if you really care about knowing and predicting what's going to happen, this is a critical thing right here. The Greenland stuff, there's a difference, a major difference between what they're telling us and what its purpose will ultimately be. And it's really not that hard, as long as you educate yourself a little bit. It's not that hard to figure out that there's something that's suspicious going on. Something's fishy. The truth ain't all there. They're hiding and withholding information.
going into the gym. Let's rock. In 2011, there was this thing called a REIT created in Honduras. A REIT was going to allow for corporate town-like developments to be created in specific areas that would not fall under Honduran law and would allow for economic growth and development. By 2013, they said, can't do this. This is wrong. But 4 judges on that panel that said it was wrong were immediately dismissed the next month, replaced by Juan Orlando Hernandez administration, and then it was passed. The ZEED in 2017 would get used to form what's called Prospera LLC with Eric Breimer. Eric Breimer would use this state as their model for what they were looking to build. Problem: by 2021, Juan Orlando Hernandez was arrested, and the next person in charge said the ZEED, can't do this. This is wrong. But Prospera LLC had already been building for 4 years, so they sue Honduras for $10.8 billion. Here's Eric Breimer's tweet regarding that exact thing. How's this have to do with Greenland? Well, the thing about it is they want this Prospera LLC to create areas where there's 1% business tax. No FDA regulation, not even crime regulation. Somebody was killed last year in Prospera LLC, and they just simply sent the money to their family and never even investigated it. They said, here you go, shut up, here's some money. Who's backing Prospera LLC? Peter Thiel and Mark Andreessen through a company named Pronomos Capital. Pronomos Capital was founded by the grandson of Milton Friedman. Milton Friedman was the one who helped Reagan create Reaganomics. Interesting. Patrick Friedman, his name, also had this idea of seasteading. Seasteading was this idea of creating a city out in the ocean in the middle of nowhere so you didn't have to abide by any governance. You listened to the whales and the dolphins. That was your law. You could create whatever law, do whatever you wanted, and it became a crypto wet dream for laundering. Peter Thiel, Mark.
If you look at our financial system, this is worldwide now, but I'm going to focus it on the USA. If you look on the financial system, what holds it is really the people, the working class, the fact that we pay taxes, the fact that we're in so much debt. That's what holds it all up. And to a certain extent, it holds up the entire worldwide economy through bonds and the bonds that governments purchase on each other. So it's funny that these people have so much money, so much liberty, that they have basically allowed themselves to build some sort of system outside of that so that they can have even more liberty. So why not share that with us? Why not share that with the people? You're essentially enslaving the rest of the citizens while you guys get all the benefits already. And you want more benefits? Cool.
Andreessen. Peter Thiel, the founder of PayPal. Now we look at Greenland. Greenland is someplace that Elon Musk wants to go for drilling. He wants it for data centers. And we already know that Musk is super involved with the government through Doge. He tweeted that Trump was a and then had dinner with him just last month. And now Grok is getting utilized in the Department of Homeland Security. The guy's basically part of the cabinet. Also, a founder of PayPal. The AI crypto czar right now, the guy who would be heavily involved in crypto regulation around something like an AI backstate surveillance city, currently being branded as a freedom city, is also one of the founders of PayPal and being advised by Mark Andreessen, who's one of the funders of Pronomos Capital. Seems like a conflict of interest, but who even cares about that at this point? So we have 3 PayPal Mafia members involved in this formation of what's going to be an AI tech surveillance city branded as a freedom city. And by the way, Trump said we're going to have 11 freedom cities in America.
These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream.
1984 really is becoming reality.
We gotta do a deep dive on the PayPal Mafia, bro.
The Ministry of Truth, the Thought Police, this whole censorship on X, Ministry of Truth with the files and the redacted stuff. There's so many examples at this point. Doublethink or doublespeak, or what is it? Now online you can't say he died. People say bullshit like he unalived. Yo, that restricting language like that has bigger ramifications than people realize. But since it's presented as a meme, it's okay because we can all meme about it. And actually, if it's presented as a meme, you are not prone to raise up your defenses and ask questions. You're kind of just prone to laughing about it and accepting it. And then since it's a meme, you do it too, perpetuating the cycle. And then this younger generation is fucked.
Let's get to the point. The point is this guy named Ron Lauder and a guy named Ken. We're going to start with Ron. Ron suggested that we go take Greenland back in 2019. It wasn't until 2025 that it started to gain some momentum. And so Ron, back in May, decided to go to Delaware's corporation site and create a Greenland LLC. He used that Greenland LLC to recently, in November of this year, invest in a Greenland water company, the Greenland Water Bank. Interestingly enough, in October, something happened that kind of set in motion the fact that we're definitely going to be able to get Greenland. Two things happened since then. One, Ron Lauder invested into Greenland, and secondarily, Juan Orlando Hernandez, the guy arrested in narco-terrorism just a few years ago, is pardoned. Why was he pardoned? Speculating here, but could it have anything to do with him helping create the framework for the Prospera LLC experiment? I don't know. But let's get back to this guy named Ken. Ron Lauder said, I will be your bridge of communication between America and, not Greenland, Denmark. Denmark owns Greenland. So, how could we create an official line of communication between America and Greenland? Oh, I don't know. Let's assign Ken Howry the position of ambassador to Denmark. And by the way, Ken Howry is one of the investors in the Founders Fund. And the Founders Fund was created by Peter Thiel. And the Founders Fund also helps supply funding the Pronomos Capital. Also, Coinbase Ventures helps the Pronomos Capital funding. And Coinbase Ventures is heavily funded by BlackRock. Hi, Larry Fink. Okay, check this out. Ken Howry is also one of the founders of PayPal. So here's what I think has happened. Ron Lauder, this guy who looks like he just stepped out of his crypt, he's also a big writer for this guy. Loves this guy. He also serves on this council, which I won't say out loud for the sake of the algorithm. But you can put two and two together. But between him and Eric Breimer, owner of Prospera LLC, Zionism is written all over this. Secondarily, we have billionaires written all over it. Specifically, billionaires that came from a sect of the PayPal Mafia, in which a guy 2 years ago burned himself alive outside of a court hearing of Donald Trump just to get the fact out that PayPal Mafia members are coming for us.
What a legend. Yeah, really, dying for a worthy cause. Unfortunately, again, this snowball's grown so big, it's not going to stop just like that. And people are so blind and so deaf, it's not going to make a difference at this point. I think it has to boil over. Again, we're being allowed to know this stuff. So I don't know what the next step is. We'll keep a watchful eye. It's certainly going to boil over before a conclusion to this whole mess starts to come to light.
For your reading pleasure, I went ahead and put his manifesto in my bio. Might have been crazy, but he makes some decent points. So I believe that billionaires are going to utilize the desolate areas of Greenland to test AI tech surveillance cities being branded as freedom cities, so they can bring an AI tech surveillance town to us, right to our own domestic home front. And they're going to test it in places like Greenland. And also, by the way, something similar is going up in Gaza. Seems very clear and obvious there's a conflict of interest going on, and it has to do with Greenland, and it has to do with the PayPal Mafia.
There's a lot we don't know about the PayPal Mafia, right?
That whole surveillance shit's already a reality. As the years go by, we'll be allowed to know more about it. But I can share personal anecdotes, personal stories, being tracked across multiple states, being tracked. Yeah. It's a reality already, and it's easy with how digitized and how technology driven the world is today. Area, if you're there, part of the reason I don't put so much stuff online and my stuff is a little bit bare bones, that's part of the reason. You know, I want to limit the amount of information that gets put out about me. I want to be able to have some sort of level of control and knowledge of what's out there and what I put out there. I'm very conscious of what I'm doing, and I'm not looking for necessarily a huge audience, or I'm not looking for fame. I'm doing things with a purpose, you know. And if it reaches one person, great. If it reaches 1,000, great. If it reaches 1 million, great. If it reaches none, great. Regardless, my purpose stays the same. So let's finish this video, then we'll pull up some of your work so we can show it off for the stream.
But we'll have to save that for next time.
Hold up, so we got to do the giveaway.
Leave a comment for a chance to win in our next episode. Let's do this, bro.
Bang bang!
Bang bang.
Pick something from our website and we'll send it straight out.
That's terrortedstars.com. New merch is nearly ready, bro.
We can't wait to show you guys what we've been working on.
Follow us on Instagram for live updates, bro.
And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. So this is some of Ariel Collins' work. She or he, they have some knowledge with digital artistry, and they shared this with us. You know, anime guy with trident, Goku. You know, maybe I'll need one of these at some point. I think having a fully like cartoony look is something I'm trying to avoid. I'm not 12 and I'm not looking to appeal to 12-year-olds. I'm more looking to appeal to older people, an older audience. But having one of these banners, maybe I'll take the time to make one at some point and put it on the stream. This one's pretty cool. I like the dark vibes of this. Looks like a conjoined twin there. There it is again. Shit, that's gonna be me soon. Fucking wizard. Maybe that's already me. Yeah, that's from that one anime, Black Clover. I've heard good stuff about it. It's probably my favorite anime. Top 3, top 5 for me. Very cool, very cool. Again, I've thought about adding these to my end screen with the intermission and the support. There's Lelouch again. I haven't seen this anime in like 10-15 years, but I know the ending is one of my favorite of all time. It just kicked it up so high that it's it stayed. I don't have as much time to watch shows as I used to, but it stayed in my top, and it will forever. You know, until I die or until I get Alzheimer's and forget everything I know. But yeah, cool art. So reach out to Ariel Collins if you're interested in grabbing some art. Personally, I think that if I were to need some help, I need some of this. I need panels. I like this font. I can send you the font. Um, m- Unfortunately, mine got rendered a little blurry on the sides. I think my GPU settings aren't set up properly, or they weren't when I made these. And they're a little basic. I'd like to have, see if I can put it up for you. I think it's right here. Hmm. Let's see. Here. I think I'd like to have some sort of 3D wood behind these about specs, bulletin, socials. Keep it basic, keep it simple. If you can make panels for me with a 3D wooden background in the style of Super Mario 64 menus, then we could talk a little bit more. But in terms of um, you know, these, I think they appeal to a different audience than what I'm going for. But still cool art. Reach out. Reach out to Area if anybody is interested in her work. Let's continue. Let's continue on with seeing beyond the veil, this theme of, seeing past what we're allowed to see, putting together things that others might not have put together before. And of course, it's not to believe everything. It's just to get you thinking and get those juices flowing. And you might come to different conclusions than you might expect after being exposed to enough information. You might be able to synthesize different ideas. A man found special glasses that saw half of the people on Earth are aliens.
A man named George is traveling with a backpack. He looks around, grasping the new environment. He's been moving from one town to another, chasing the promise of something better. When he arrives in Los Angeles, he heads straight to an employment office.
Due to a computer error, the food stamp program has been suspended until...
During his interview, he explains that he came from Colorado. Things fell apart back home because they lost 40 banks in a week. The staff member tells him they don't have anything for him, and George walks out, his hopes dashed again.
There's nothing available for you right now.
Wandering the busy streets with nowhere to go, George comes across a street preacher surrounded by a few curious listeners.
And the fear of God is not before their eyes.
The preacher speaks with passion, warning that those in power are under the influence of dark forces manipulating the world through unseen means. George listens for...
This is a very old movie. And again, maybe we're just being allowed to know more things with a certain degree of certainty. But even back then, there was already people who were more awake or aware. Let's see if I could find a clip.
For a moment, but moves on when he spots a police car nearby. As he walks past a shop, he notices a man staring blankly at a television display showing nonsense commercials. The man seems lost in it, almost hypnotized. George shrugs it off and keeps going. Eventually, he finds a makeshift shelter for the homeless and decides to rest there for the night. In a nearby house, a woman is glued to a TV show featuring a vain celebrity obsessed with staying young. George, exhausted, sinks into a chair and reflects silently.
And I never grow old.
The next morning, he tries his luck at a construction site. The foreman initially turns him down. Only union members are allowed, but George, knowing this is his last resort, manages to persuade him. They agree on a daily wage, and George is given a spot. He starts the tough physical labor like the rest, but payment won't come for a few days. One of the workers, Frank, notices George's situation. He offers to show him a place to stay with food and a place to clean up. George is wary at first, but eventually agrees and follows him. They talk briefly before continuing on their road.
Justiceville's over on 4th Street. They got hot food and showers.
Frank brings him to a small community where people from different backgrounds have gathered, all drawn by the same hope of a better life. The atmosphere is warm.
If you notice, pretty soon, a lot of the workers and lower, quote, quote, lower class people, really, I'm going to say normal people, they ain't the ones who have any changes after this man finds the glasses and puts them on. Just keep an eye out on what kind of people there are and the transformation that happens after our protagonist finds the glasses and puts them on to see a little bit more clearly.
People look out for each other, and even children seem at ease. A man named Gilbert quickly gives George a simple task to help around the camp. Later, he's served a filling meal and listens as Frank opens up about his own journey, moving away from his family in Detroit and trying to earn enough to support them.
Steel mills were laying people off left and right.
Frank carries a deep resentment toward the wealthy decision-makers who shut down the factories back in his hometown. He blames them for throwing countless workers into poverty, and his patience is long gone. If another plant closes, he says he won't hold back anymore.
If they close one more factory, we should take a sledge to one of their fancy foreign cars.
George reminds him that it is better to have patience. Though he speaks calmly, his words are laced with frustration and a readiness to fight for survival. He warns George, half joking, half serious, that out here, everyone is competing for scraps. George, on the other hand, remains hopeful. He believes in starting fresh and working hard to rebuild his life.
I deliver a hard day's work for my money. I just want the chance. It'll come.
Later that evening, George walks around the camp and sees a group of residents watching TV. A flashy commercial about fake nails has them glued until the signal cuts out. Suddenly, the screen shows a nervous man delivering an unusual warning. He claims their world is an illusion, crafted by unknown beings who transmit signals that dull people's minds and keep them obedient.
State of consciousness that
Back then, there was only TVs. And these ideas were already being explored. Now we have screens with a lot more targeted programming. In fact, we search for the programming now. And the algorithms behind the scenes will twist our content to feed us information, to sway us this way or the other. Plus, they got the advantage to be able to spy on.
sleep.
According to him, a few scientists discovered the truth. These signals strip away independent thought, keeping the poor poorer while injustice spreads. But the audience isn't interested. They quickly change the channel. As this happens, George notices a blind preacher standing nearby, echoing every word from the strange broadcast.
They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others.
Moments later, Gilbert rushes over and pulls the man aside. George watches them from a distance. He can't hear the conversation, but something about it seems tense. Gilbert leads the preacher quickly back toward the nearby church. George keeps his eyes on them as they go, sensing there's more going on than anyone is saying. The next morning, George sees Gilbert at the entrance of the camp and casually brings up the church visit. Gilbert brushes it off, saying the church helps feed the homeless and that he was just setting things up for the day.
Hey, we're taking care of a lot of people here.
Back inside the camp, the same unusual broadcast interrupts the television again. The man urges viewers to stop the mind control signals. Like before, the signal causes painful headaches, and the crowd is relieved when the screen switches back to sports. Gilbert quickly heads toward the church again, and this time, George decides to quietly follow. He enters the building and hears choir music playing. Nothing suspicious at first, but as he looks around, he discovers a hidden corner of the church where things don't add up. Behind the music, there's a small lab set up with chemicals and strange equipment. On one wall, someone has written, "They live, we sleep." He spots a tape recorder blaring the choir music to mask the real purpose of the gathering. Behind a wall, a hidden group, including Gilbert and the man from the television, is meeting in secret. They're working on hacking the broadcast system again, hoping to keep their message on the air long enough to wake people up.
Manufacturing Hoffman lenses till we're blue in the face? We're just...
Inside the church, the secret group discusses plans to expand their reach. They believe that spreading their message to more people is the only way to wake society up. While listening from a distance, George accidentally backs into a hidden door, uncovering a vault filled with boxes. Though curious,
Yeah, wake people up, but what do you do when the people don't want to, or when they actively fight against it?
he decides it's not the right time to investigate and quietly shuts it. Just as he gets up to leave, he stumbles upon the blind preacher. George tries to explain that he was not doing anything wrong.
Just wanted to close it, didn't want no one breaking in. Neighborhood watch.
The preacher touches George's face and hands, seemingly recognizing him. He quickly begins speaking about a coming uprising and insists George has a part to play. Unsettled by the sudden intensity, George pulls away and bolts from the church. The preacher shouts after him, convinced he'll return one day.
This world may have blinded me, but the Lord has let me see.
Not long after, a helicopter hovers above the church.
Damn, it's crazy to think that even back then, there was people who, found their cornerstone and their rock and their way to navigate through confusing times. It's just so much more hard these days because of the oversaturation of it all and the normalization of it, really.
Causing the group
I mean, there's government programs to give people cell phones. There's government programs to give people their own cell phone. And many other things.
To grow uneasy. Once it flies off, George borrows a pair of binoculars from a neighborhood kid and keeps watch. He sees Gilbert and a few others carrying boxes from the building and loading them into a car. Before he can piece it together, Frank approaches. George tries to explain what he witnessed in the church. He reveals that there is no choir there and they just open a music tape. But Frank wants no part of it. He is scared of losing his job, and he warns George of the same thing happening to him. He then tells George not to dig into something that might get them both in trouble.
I'm walking a white line all the time. I don't bother nobody. Nobody bothers me.
That evening, the camp is quiet until sirens wail and floodlights pierce the darkness. Police vehicles surround the area, followed by bulldozers. Without warning, officers begin tearing down tents and shelters, sending the residents running in every direction. George watches in horror as the peaceful camp is reduced to rubble. The people panic and start running, and here is when officers with bulletproof glass start lunging at them. They push and hit the people who are attempting to escape their wrath. George runs away from the area to escape this. The officers show no restraint. They beat the preacher and the man from the strange broadcasts, ignoring their pleas.
They beat the blind man? What the fuck?
Both men are left lifeless, and anyone who stays behind meets a similar fate. George manages to rescue a terrified teenager hiding nearby, leading him to safety. As they run, officers came in front of them, and they ran to escape. Together, they climbed to the upper level of the ruined church and searched for shelter.
Come on in and join the party, man.
Eventually, they discover a hidden room where a handful of survivors are quietly waiting out the chaos. None of them understand why they were attacked. They spend the night in silence, trying to come to terms with the violence they've seen. When daylight comes, they step outside to assess the damage. The camp has been completely flattened, yet somehow a TV still sits in the open, playing absurd commercials as if nothing happened. George doesn't waste time. He sneaks back into the church to check the vault he found earlier. The slogan on the wall, "They live, we sleep," has been hastily painted over during the raid. Inside the pantry, he finds one box left behind, the same kind the group had been moving the day before. Just then, a police cruiser rolls past the building. George ducks down, staying out of sight, knowing he's only just beginning to uncover the truth. He then takes the box and gets out of the place. After finding a quiet place to hide, George opens the box he recovered from the church vault. To his disappointment, it's filled with nothing but sunglasses. Confused but curious, he stashes the box in a trash bin for later and takes one pair with him. As he walks through the city, he puts the glasses on, and everything changes. The world loses its color, shifting to stark black and white. What once seemed normal now appears strange and unsettling. Through the lenses, ads and signs reveal hidden commands. Obey, consume, marry and reproduce, watch TV, and others. Magazine covers and billboards lose their glossy appeal and instead display blunt orders. George picks up a magazine.
It's like it allows you to cut through the veil when you put on these glasses and read between the lines and see things for what they really are, but what they're trying to hide.
And reads the same colorless commands through the glass. But when he takes the glass out, it is a colorful, engaging magazine. Even more disturbing, some people no longer look human. Their faces morph into grotesque, skull-like creatures.
Thank you.
George keeps removing and putting the glasses back on to be sure it isn't just his imagination. The man standing near him looks like a monster through the glasses, but behaves normally otherwise, simply staring back.
Be careful, because when you see them, they see you.
He continues exploring and notices a message printed on money. This is your God. At traffic lights, he sees hidden transmitters pumping out subliminal signals that repeat one word, sleep. George starts to understand that only some people are affected. Many humans seem completely unaware, casually interacting with these disguised aliens, who clearly hold the most power in society.
She didn't even go to Lama's class. I told her, for your sake.
Inside a supermarket, George sees a politician giving a speech on TV. The man's real alien face is visible through the glasses, just like the others.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism.
George, overwhelmed by the absurdity of it all, but his reaction draws attention. He offends a woman who is also an alien in disguise and accuses her of not being what she appears. He announces to everyone that she is different when he puts the glasses on. The woman then realizes that George can actually see her. The people around him are confused, and George's cover is blown. The woman alerts her kind through a communicator hidden in her watch, describing George to the others.
He's a tall, Caucasian male. Doesn't appear armed.
Now targeted, George runs from the store in panic. As he rushes through the streets, he realizes that many of the creatures are watching him, but it's only when he lashes out at one of them that things escalate.
That's like pouring perfume on a pig.
Two fake police officers, who are also aliens, apprehend him and demand to know where he got the glasses. George refuses to talk. They try to recruit him, saying he can live well if he cooperates, but he refuses. In the struggle, George manages to overpower them, steal their weapons, and take them out. More police arrive.
Now, what does this look like to the other people who aren't seeing through the veil?
Quickly, and George flees again, this time into a nearby bank. Inside, he sees that many of the customers are aliens too. Acting fast, he opens fire on the disguised creatures. One of them sends out a distress call and vanishes into thin air before George can stop him.
Wearing sunglasses.
On the run once more, George spots a drone chasing him. He takes it down, then runs out. While running, he encounters a police officer, but he points his shotgun at him, making him run. He then ducks into a nearby parking garage, hoping to find cover. There, he runs into a woman named Holly. After confirming she's human, he forces her to drive him to her home.
Drive.
Holly drives him home. After parking the car, the two of them walk into her apartment. Two of her neighbors look at them as they walk into the house.
Hi, Holly.
At Holly's home, George collapses from exhaustion. As he sits on the ground, pulling her next to him, the adrenaline is wearing off.
Woo! It's like a drug.
He tries to explain everything, that he didn't mean to frighten her, that the world is being manipulated by dangerous beings hiding in plain sight. But Holly, still shaken, made it clear the only reason she obliged is because he has a gun, and she will continue to do so as long as he is holding the gun. He urges her to try on the special glasses so she can see what he sees. But Holly doesn't believe him. She refuses and keeps her distance, cautious of his unpredictable behavior.
If you want me to look through your sunglasses, I'll look through your sunglasses.
As he begins to relax and close his eyes, Holly moves quietly, hoping to slip away unnoticed. But George is still alert and watches her carefully.
Don't f with me.
She tells him she is thirsty, and he allows her to get a drink. He apologizes for being there, and he asks if her name is Holly. She confirms. Eventually, he asks her what she does for a living. She tells him she works behind the scenes at a television station. That catches his attention. He remembers that the creatures use television signals.
Assistant program director. Cable 54.
Just as he lowers his guard, Holly acts fast. She grabs a bottle, smashes it over his head, and shoves him out the window. George crashes onto the ground outside. Holly quickly calls the police as he is falling down. He somehow survives the fall, though he loses his glasses in the process. George flees before the police arrive and hides beneath a nearby bridge. The next day, George returns to the construction site, hoping to convince Frank to help him, but Frank is on edge. George's violent outburst and
even people who were friendly to him and know he's a good guy with good morals, and they themselves are good people, they have trouble believing and seeing.
the public chaos he caused have made him seem dangerous. George tries to explain that the people he attacked were not human, but aliens wearing masks. Frank, however, tells him he has a wife and a kid and wants no part of it.
I got a wife and kids, so leave me alone.
George heads to the spot where he hid the box of glasses, but
And then that's the reaction to it, right? You don't want to look into the abyss, because then it looks back at you.
it's gone. The trash bins have been emptied. He notices a garbage truck nearby and climbs into the back. After digging through the garbage, he manages to find a few undamaged pairs of the glasses. Frank shows up by chance and sees George. He hands George some cash, saying it's a week's pay and all he can offer. He also makes it clear that he wants no more involvement. George puts on the glasses to once again make sure Frank is a human, and he did.
Wait! Hey!
George is desperate, so he calls from behind. He pleads with Frank to put on the glasses just once to see the truth for himself. Frank refuses, thinking George has completely lost it. Frustrated by his friend's disbelief, George punches him. What follows is a long, brutal fight between the two men, neither holding back. Amidst the fight, George hands Frank the glasses and asks him to put it on, but Frank throws them to the ground and attempts to step on them. George quickly intervenes, but Frank ends up throwing them instead of putting them on. The fight continues with each man having the upper hand interchangeably. They are bloodied and bruised and completely exhausted, but neither is stopping. Eventually, George gains the upper hand and forces the glasses onto Frank's face. What Frank sees leaves him speechless. Shocked and horrified, he realizes George was right all along.
You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream.
As they are standing there, they see an alien ship floating in the sky. Frank, unable to believe what it is, asks George for clarification. George takes him to the corner to avoid being noticed.
She's back in heat.
Now on the same page, the two of them rent a cheap motel room to regroup. Frank watches through the window wearing the glasses, absorbing the new grim reality he discovered. He then asks how long they have been there, and George cryptically answers, making Frank angry.
Well, they ain't from Cleveland.
Look, man, I don't need that kind of shit.
They talk about what to do next. Frank figures there must be others out there who know the truth, and they are the ones who made the sunglasses. They finally agree to find them. During the conversation, George opens up about his past. He describes a childhood filled with poverty and violence, especially at the hands of his abusive father.
Kicked my ass, told me about the power and the glory.
Years of oppression and inequality, he says, have created the perfect environment for these alien overlords to thrive. He wants justice for himself and for everyone who's been trapped in this system. The next morning, Frank goes out to pick stuff up, and when he comes back, Gilbers is waiting for him, wearing the glasses.
Frank?
He then follows him upstairs and calls from behind. Frank sees that he is a human and leads him to their room. He then gives them weapons, telling them people are now getting aware of the situation around them. After this, George and Frank go to a quiet location where a small gathering is taking place that evening. It's a secret meeting for people like them, those who've seen through the illusion.
They've colorized.
What did you see that? My dad had one like that.
Inside, they meet others from all walks of life who now understand what's really going on. When they get in, they see everyone there is human. A woman approaches them and tells them that they can take their sunglasses off here. She then gives them contact lenses, telling them they are better. At first, the two men were wary, but they eventually took the lenses and put them on before going to Gilbert. He again greets them and tells them that even the human cops are against them because they are told the group are criminals.
They've been told that we're commies trying to bring down the government.
The conversation continues, and Gilbert explains more about the creatures behind the curtain. The beings who invaded Earth aren't here randomly. They're here for business. They've been recruiting regular people, offering wealth and power to anyone willing to help them maintain control. Earth, to them, is just a stopover, a temporary mine of resources to help build their next conquest. Natural disasters, economic collapse, even climate change. They've all been engineered to serve the aliens' bigger plans. And once the planet is drained, they'll simply move on to the next. The TV is playing the recording of the man.
Deplete the planet, move on to another.
George then takes them to a table full of weapons and tells them they want an assault unit so that they can hit them hard when they do start the fight. One of the group members shows Frank a strange alien watch. It's a communication and teleportation device, but no one has been able to fully figure out how it works. Frank takes it, hoping to unlock its secrets.
I've been trying to figure it out.
All right, now everybody listen up.
Gilbert gathers everyone and reminds them they don't have the numbers to stage a full-scale revolt. Not yet. But many in the group are restless and eager to fight back.
Now we start spilling some blood.
Gilbert urges caution. He tells them that they don't stand a chance when all they have is a couple of weapons, and the priority, he says, should be finding the origin of the mind control signal and shutting it down. If they can do that, people might finally wake up. That's when Holly unexpectedly shows up. She mentions that the signal is coming from somewhere else.
The transmission is going out clean. The signal's coming from somewhere else.
George sees her and tells Frank he needs to talk to someone and approaches her. She seems shaken. She asks if he is okay, and she thought that she killed him. He tells her that he is fine, smiling to reassure her. While fiddling with George's old glasses, she quietly apologizes for betraying him. Before they can talk further, gunfire erupts. The police have found them. The room explodes into chaos as the resistance members try to flee. The police start aggressively shooting at everyone. The people attempt to retaliate and fumble to escape, but the unexpected attack made them have the lower hand. Most of them don't make it out. But George and Frank manage to escape unharmed while shooting at the police. The men duck into an alley as they return fire at the alien-controlled forces. George insists on going back for Holly, unaware that she's already with them, but Frank holds him back, knowing they need to think smarter.
There's nothing you can do out there.
While fiddling with the alien watch, Frank accidentally activates something unexpected, a portal. It glows and pulses strangely, and before they have time to plan, the enemy starts closing in. With no other choice, the two men jump through. They emerge in what looks like an alien base hidden deep underground. The walls are covered with strange symbols they can't understand. They move cautiously down a hallway until they spot an alien checkpoint. The guards, dressed like human soldiers, report over a radio that the resistance has been neutralized. Then they leave, confident the job is done.
We got them! We wiped them out!
George and Frank move forward and follow the sound of voices. It leads them to a large, formal gathering. Inside, wealthy human collaborators raise their glasses while a man in a suit gives a speech. He proudly announces that Earth will soon be fully under alien control. The guests applaud, thrilled by the promise of privilege and rewards for their loyalty to the invaders. He shares data to prove just how successful their global manipulation has been. Finally, he announces that the rebel group has been attacked and they have managed to wipe them out completely. As George and Frank observe from where they are standing, they're approached by someone unexpected, a man they recognize from the old homeless camp, but he's changed sides. Now working with the invaders, he assumes the two of them have joined the cause too and casually mocks their worn-down clothes.
You know, I knew me and you had a lot in common.
Thinking they're allies, the man offers to show them around. He brings them through hidden parts of the base.
Now, you think that's something? Take a look at this.
They eventually reach what looks like a space terminal. There, aliens disguised as humans board shuttles bound for other planets.
And we hope you have a pleasant trip.
He tells them he doesn't know how the things work, but using the shuttles, they can go wherever they want. He compliments the aliens for being organized and powerful. Next, he leads them into the media wing, specifically the area behind a television studio. This, he says, is the heart of the operation. From here, satellite signals are sent across the globe, keeping the population brainwashed and obedient. George cleverly flatters their guide into getting them closer to the broadcast control room, but when the guards demand credentials, things quickly fall apart. The two friends draw their weapons and take out the alien security.
Right here.
Then they ask their former acquaintance where the signal's coming from. He tells them it is coming from the roof. The two men prepare to go there, but the man pleads with them to stop, insisting they're fighting a losing battle. There are no good people anymore, and their world is fully under the control of the aliens. He tries to tempt them with promises, comfort, privilege, and protection as long as they pledge loyalty to the invaders. But George and Frank refuse to betray what they believe in. Just then, a man bursts in, shortly distracting them. Using this moment, the man that was with them teleports away.
See you, boys.
Let's go!
George and Frank push through the chaos, fighting their way through the studio, clearing out the aliens. They keep walking in the hallway, attempting to find a way to the roof. George stops a nervous woman and demands to know where Holly is, but the woman, startled by their weapons and sudden approach, gets scared. Finally, they reach an office filled with human collaborators. Wasting no time, they head to the top. As they move, more forces come, and the two men clear their way swiftly.
Yeah, I wonder how many of these collaborators are fully aware of what's going on in this scheme. They might just be asleep.
Security 950, lock the elevators down. They're on the move.
Suddenly, they run into Holly, alive and seemingly unharmed. They quickly pull her with them and...
She's clearly not on your side, dude. Like, her showing up is the reason why the whole operation went upside down. So stop thinking with your dick, homie.
Continue their way up. Together, the three of them fight off more alien forces until they reach the building's highest level. But the moment they think they've made it, everything shifts. Without warning, Holly turns on them. She shoots Frank in the head, killing him instantly, then steps onto the rooftop. George didn't see what happened and steps onto the rooftop alone. There, he finds the satellite dish that's responsible for the global broadcast. As he gets ready to destroy it, Holly appears behind him and raises her gun, demanding that he stand down.
Don't do it.
A helicopter arrives, warning him that they will open
Clearly, she was on the other side since the moment you met.
Fire. They start a countdown, but George doesn't hesitate. He spins and fires first, taking her out. Then he turns his weapon on the satellite dish and destroys it. From above, the helicopter opens fire, riddling him with bullets. As George dies, he gives the enemy a defiant farewell, a final gesture of rebellion. But the damage is done. The signal is gone. Across the world, people finally see the truth.
How to buy a sailboat as Prime Minister.
Like shit. I'm on it.
The disguises fall away. Aliens that had been hiding in plain sight on TV, in offices, and in relationships are exposed for what they truly are. The illusion is shattered, and it's all thanks to one ordinary man from Colorado who refused to sleep through the lies.
If only it were that simple. Right, so if only it were that simple. But there's a deeper meaning behind it all. And if you're still not convinced, I'm not going to try to convince you, but you should take a look at one of the great minds, George Carlin, and known for his comedy. He was very aware of the way this world functions. And I found this clip just under a minute long from 15 years ago, where it shows someone clearly on the other side and George Carlin trying to fulfill that role of, the one that brings forth the truth and one that might point people towards the right direction. You don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge. The world could use more George Carlin. He cut through all the bullshit so fast, it was so fast the producers were mad because they wanted more chances for applause breaks or back and forth arguing. I think that's what made him so good. He didn't he didn't allow them any more time than they needed, and he got it out in such few words that it's kind of difficult to censor. Here it is, 48 seconds.
The energy policies that were created here in California, not as a result of a conspiracy, but because...
You don't need a formal conspiracy. Right. When interests converge, these people went to the same universities and fraternities, they're on the same boards of directors, they're in the same country clubs, they have like interests, they don't need to call a meeting, they know what's good for them, and they're getting it. And there used to be 7 oil companies, there are now 3, it will soon be 2. The things that matter in this country have been reduced in choice. There are 2 political parties. There are a handful of insurance companies. There are about 6 or 7 information things. But if you want a bagel, there are 23 flavors because you have the illusion. You have the illusion of choice.
Right. You don't get the real important choice. There's no freedom of choice.
That's a great point. Right. And speaking of...
Very interesting indeed. So I hope you liked that segment there. Maybe it got you exposed to things you haven't been exposed to in the past. Maybe it got you thinking about things you hadn't thought of before. Regardless, it's just for fun. Maybe for educational purposes. Maybe for entertainment purposes. And speaking of entertainment, I think it's about time that we switch gears here. Something a little bit different. We're going to be seeing the chapter 4 finale